Right.
Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Anisa. I'm the program director for NAMI Hawaii and walk manager as well. This is our first time doing something like this. Usually I just kind of invite people to my walk committee, and then that's how we normally get volunteers. But we're trying something different this year. So we'll see what happens. First of all, I just kind of want to talk about some of the qualities that we're looking for in volunteers. Patience is one of them. We're looking for people that are creative and can think outside of the box, to be passion driven, to be committed, because it takes time and it takes energy for us to take you on as a volunteer. And that also equals money. So it's really important to us that you are committed to doing whatever it is that you're going to do. And of course, we understand that things come up and things happen, and that's okay too. But we would really like people to, if you're going to take something on, please commit to it, because it takes time, it takes energy, and it takes money. So please don't waste those for us, because it's very precious and valuable. We need people who are eager to take initiative. I want people to just, take something and run with it. I will provide support and stuff like that, but I don't want to be having to babysit people every step of the way. I'm sorry if I sound a little hard on some of these things, but I just want to put these things out there ahead of time, so there's no issues later. We like people that can work in teams or even independent by themselves too, to be driven, reliable. And again, we understand that things come up. Just communicate with us and let us know, and leadership skills. Those are the qualities that we're looking for in volunteers. And then I'll go on to kind of some of the jobs that it took me a while to kind of think about this list, and it's can be hard for us to figure out how to implement volunteers. So there might be some things that we have to work out along the way, but just bear with us because we're figuring it out along the way too. So of course the walk is starting to come up, so I will need help with the walk, so people to be on my walk committee and help me plan it. To this year, we're going to have students be our honorary chair, so I'll need help with coordinating with schools to create teams. If somebody wants to design flyers, I'd love it if somebody could create us a visual impact report. Social media we need help with the walk in specific. I have somebody already helping with regular everyday social media, but I'd like somebody to take on just walk stuff for social media. That's Instagram and Facebook. That would be amazing. Somebody to coordinate with different youth groups to get them to join us for the walk and to create teams as well. Speakers to train for general mental health presentations. Of course, we'll train you for that, but we are looking for speakers, people that are in recovery, people that have a loved one with a mental health condition, and that are at a point in their life where they're ready to speak on it. We need help with NAMI on campus. So if you go to a university or you attend a school and would like to create your own kind of little like NAMI club, we call it, it's NAMI on campus. We're looking for people for that. We always need more family-to-family teachers and support group facilitators as well. That's family members and peers. We're going to be having some trainings coming up for that as well. I'm looking for somebody to coordinate with businesses to create teams for the walk, churches. I always need help with sponsorships and finding sponsors, and that means sending emails and making phone calls, people to recruit new participants, so people to join us for the walk. Somebody that wants to take over, we send out team captain emails, so people that are team captains for the walk, and we send them like resources on how to fundraise and how to be a good team captain and all of those things. Somebody could take over that if they would like to. And also, so another thing too is outreach to like doctors' offices and psychiatrists to let people know that we exist, because a lot of doctors and psychiatrists still don't know that we exist, so that their clients can attend our free programs and we can help them as well. And I think that's about it for me. And yeah, if you guys have any interest in any of those things, it'd be nice if you guys could like pick something of what I've just discussed. Maybe I'll send an email out with a list of these things as well, so you can have it there in front of you and decide what you would like to help with, whether that's with something specific or you're just open to doing anything. If you want to just be somebody that I can email and be like, hey, do you want to do this? And if that's something you can take on too, that would be awesome as well. There's lots of things that you can do at home right now to help us. And yeah, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kumi.
Hi, everyone. I am Kumi MacDonald, Executive Director of NAMI Hawaii State. And so I kind of oversee what's happening all across the state. And we help each of our affiliates and the programs that we run all across the state with help and information and training and all kinds of important things. So I did contact our affiliates from NAMI Kauai in the Big Island. So I'll let Kathy share about Big Island in a little bit, but I'll just share with you what we need in the state level. So a couple of things, addition to what Anisa said, we do also need people who are interested in legislative and advocacy. Now, it's really hard. You know, there's so many people, just like Anisa said, there's so many people who want to help. And it's so, we love your heart. We love your heart. But sometimes the follow through doesn't come about. And we get it that family crisis comes up, school schedules change, people move, people get sick. We understand those needs. But oftentimes, you know, we will invest a lot of time and energy training, and then we never hear from them. So that becomes a really upsetting and sad thing, because it's a lot of time and energy we put in. And so we want to make sure that when you come aboard, that you're coming aboard and saying, I'm going to take ownership, because we're a grassroots organization. You're part of that grassroots, you know, and so you're part of this family. So when your family, hey, you got to do the laundry, you got to help pick up groceries or pick up the garbage. You know, we all work together to make it what it is. And so we want you to be a part of this community. So again, if you're interested in these things, there's committees that you can join. We have an advocacy committee that meets every other month, and you're welcome to join that. But again, this is for top level people who are going to write, you know, help with advocacy, who's going to write testimonials, who's going to show up for some of these events that the legislative sessions will offer once they go face to face. So we really want people who are saying, hey, I'm really committed, I'm going to go for it. Also, again, the next thing was social media. Anisa touched on that, but social media, we really do need people who are in public relations as well, who may be able to not only do social media, but be able, who have creative ideas that can get our name out there, get publicity, get more awareness, and using various platforms. But that's why we really like the new breed of young people who are into technology, who know TikTok or whatever, all of these things. If you have a creative idea, come and share it with Anisa and myself, and let's see where we can take it. But we don't want someone goes, I'm willing to do it, now tell me what to do. That's something we won't be able to help you with. You got to come to us. And so, for instance, I'll give an example. One girl said, I want to do a social media campaign. What I want to do is I want to go to local businesses and sell the walk and tell them, we're going to put these big old posters up in your businesses, and we're going to go on the news and tell people, if you go to these businesses and take a shot, put it on our Instagram page, then whoever does so many gets recognition, gets awards, prizes, and so forth. So she came out with a big idea, and boom, she executed it. And we helped her all along the way. Like, we will be there to hold your hand, but we're not going to, like Anisa said, we can't really babysit or, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? I really want someone who has the idea and is going to run with it. We also want people who want to work with their churches and youth groups and faith groups. So if you are a part of a faith group, we have a thing called FaithNet where you can go to your churches or synagogues or temples and say, talk to your leaders there and say, hey, we want to bring mental health awareness to our faith community, whether you have a speakers event, whether you have a support group session, or just one day during a service where you can mention, hey, let's spend some time praying for or lifting up people who are struggling with their emotions or their stresses or mental health issues. And so again, we can help you with the speakers, we can help you with the literature, we can help you with past events that other faith groups have done. So again, you come to us, we will supply. Another thing that you can do is mental health awareness at schools and at your work. So again, it's not just the faith community, but take it to your work. Talk to your boss, talk to your managers and say, hey, I'd like to do a one-day virtual event where we during our staff meeting, can we take 10 minutes and talk about self-care? And Anisa is a great presenter. And just talk about mental health awareness so that the company is aware that, yes, this is a concern and let's take care of our people so they can be better workers. We also have, let's see, Kauai Island. If you are, even though you don't live on Kauai, if you have roots in Kauai or close ties to Kauai, they are looking for someone, because right now everything is virtual. Eventually, when it goes face to face, it might be different, but it is virtual. So they are looking for someone who works remotely, but they want someone who can work about 2 hours a week helping with administration. They need, and if that person can't do the whole 2 hours a week, every week commitment, even if it's about just 2 hours a month, taking notes for their monthly stakeholder meetings. So they have these meetings and people need to take notes. Another one is sending out agendas, working with their designated leader to send out the agendas, sending out email blasts for upcoming events, support groups and classes, and then just doing a lot of administrative, like collecting data, making sure it gets reported to Anisa, because the state collects the data and then we report it to national. Maui is also looking for support group leaders, support group of family to family teachers, administrative help, and speakers for that island. But again, if you don't live in Maui, but you have close ties to Maui, maybe you used to live there, or maybe you fly there once in a while for business. If you can work remotely, that would be great for now. Eventually, when they do open up, they do need a lot more help. We might need somebody there face to face. A lot of the islands are also looking for tech support because a lot of our current teachers are, not very good with technology and Zoom. And so they need a lot of help just like creating the meeting, for someone to even like go into the Zoom app and create a meeting and then send the link to everybody. That's something very challenging for some people. So it's something very easy for people who are used to technology. And then starting the meeting, making sure everyone has a link. So things like that. So those are some of the things that the Neighbor Islanders need. Some other things that we're working on too, upcoming is our peer-to-peer education, peer-to-peer education. We had a very generous donor, a good friend of ours who donated to Hawaii to do some of the training. And then we got additional funding from Nale Aloha Foundation to do some more peer-to-peer programming and things like that, advertising and funding for that. So this is coming up in, Anisa, again, what were the dates that we were thinking of possibly doing peer-to-peer training?
So either the first or second weekend of June.
Okay, so hopefully we're gonna get that secured shortly, but you do need to apply to become trained. And what it is you do have to commit to teaching the course. You won't have to do it alone. It's scary sometimes, like you're all gung-ho, but when you're on, it's like, I don't know what I mean. Don't worry, you're gonna be with 2 other people. So you're not going to do it alone. And if you get sick or if your anxiety acts up and you can't do it, don't worry. There's 2 other people to back you up, but you have to be committed. So you have to commit to teaching the course, but in order to do to take the training, you have to apply, and Anisa has the application, and you have to be committed to teaching, and you have to be committed to taking the training. So our last training, like 2 people no-showed, right? Like they signed up, they applied, we paid for their supplies, we shipped their supplies, we held a spot for them, and then, you know, they disappeared. So we really make sure that you really dig deep and look into your scheduling and say, yes, this is something I really want to do. And if you can't, we're so full of grace. That's what NAMI is all about kindness and respect. So if you can't, just tell us, hey, Kumi, I really want to do, but right now my anxiety's through the roof and I just need to take a break. Yes, take a break. Self-care is so important, but just don't disappear on us. So that's coming up in June. So contact Anisa if you're interested in peer-to-peer education training. So we're going to train the teachers first. Once the teachers are trained, we'll break you up into groups of 3s, and then we're going to start training the entire state of Hawaii. Okay. And then we will also have family to family education training as well. That's also another 8-week course dedicated for family members who care for somebody with a mental illness. So peer-to-peer is for people living in recovery, teaching people living in recovery. Family to family is families teaching other families how to be a better family caregiver. So both of those trainings will be coming up. Contact Anisa. Okay, so I think I finished my list. So can Kathy share a little bit about what maybe the Big Island might be interested in?
Sure. Thank you, Kumi. I'm afraid I didn't really prepare anything here, and a lot of what we use volunteers for is very similar to what you've heard. So just forgive me if I'm going over things. But, you know, volunteers are really the heart of our operation in the Big Island affiliate. We're like 100% volunteer. Of course, we get tremendous and very helpful guidance and support from Kumi and Anisa and, you know, other staff that come and go at the state office that help us. But basically, that's it. We're all volunteers. So in some ways, we're probably even, there's less opportunity for guidance, although we do take a total team approach. And what we're looking for is, as Kumi said, and Anisa too, people that are interested in becoming trained and certified by NAMI to be teachers. We mostly have so far family programs, but we're very open to finding volunteers that would like to put on peer programs as well. We also, a lot of our volunteers are a little bit on the older side, as you can tell by looking at me. So we sort of need technical assistance. We know a little bit, but you know, it's very different when people are really good at tech stuff. So that's great. And that's to deliver the programs. And we're doing all of that at the moment on Zoom. And some of them we are talking about maybe continuing on Zoom because of the nature of our island. It's so spread out that we think that's a much better way of really servicing the whole geographic areas, maybe to keep things going that way to a certain extent. Also to do with our website. We've been getting great help from Ian on the website. And, you know, we appreciate the hosting by the state organization, but we want to get a bit more involved in some of that to market our programs and to let people know that we're out here. Another area is guest speakers, that we'd like volunteers to be guest speakers. So for example, 1 out of 8 classes in the family to family has a guest speaker. That's someone with the lived experience with the mental illness. And we find that's actually one of the most compelling parts of the training. They really help the families understand more what it's like, you know, from the experience of someone living with the mental illness. And that's been very popular. We also want to do more ending the silence. So that's to find somebody under 35 that can help us by, and that's probably always going to be maybe virtual from our perspective on the Big Island, going into the schools and presenting to either the students or the teachers or the parents about mental illness. And that's a very brief one, just 50 minutes. And half of it is another speaker that's giving general information. And then we're looking for the young speaker to talk about their experience. It's very inspirational. Those are probably the main things. We do other services as well. And probably, you know, people just kind of float to the top with their own particular talents. We've been very lucky with that we found people with talents and interests, and they say, I'd like to do this sort of thing or that sort of thing. So sometimes it's a create your own volunteer opportunity with the Big Island. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can I add one more thing? Is that the neighbor islanders are also looking for help with their walk. So there is a walk on Oahu, and Anisa is a walk manager for that. And that one is run for the entire state. But we also want to have local walks for the Big Island, Maui, and Kauai. Right now, the Big Island does have a really great walk manager, Susan McGovern. They always need help. And because Big Island has a really good chance of possibly being able to do it face-to-face, because they're a really small community, you know, people to blow up balloons, put up signs, wave, big posters, get cups of, maybe not cups, bottled water to people, things like that, registration. So that they also need help in that area. But Kauai and Maui do not have a walk. Now, if you're like, I love a party, I'm really good at making an event come alive. If you're one of those people, NAMI walks come with a manual and we'll help you. Again, we'll hold your hand all the way. But if you're interested in starting a walk for Maui or Kauai, again, let me know and we would be more than happy to get you some information.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kumi. Oops, I had that written on my thing to say something about I skipped over it, but that's true. But this year we're probably going to do it virtually again. That's kind of our goal at the moment, because we did have quite a bit of success with the virtual walk.
Yeah. And then I just want to say another thing about, so Zoom tech people. If you are really good at Zoom and you have some time that you can donate, and it's not a big deal for you to host and start a meeting and to mute and unmute people and to share your screen, like, please send me an email, because I have a few support groups that currently that's what I'm having to do, is that the people that are running it are just not very good with technology. And so just starting it and sharing the screen and things like that, they need help with. So if that's something that it's really easy and simple to do and sounds good, then send me an email too. And then I also want to touch on why to volunteer. So volunteers are why we work, you know. It's just, there's just 3 of us paid staff right now. Is that correct? And the rest of NAMI is ran by volunteers. Our family to family teachers, our support group leaders, they're all volunteers. And they're people that have taken our programs before and they see the value of it and they want to continue to give back. And that's why we work. We are a grassroots organization. We work from the bottom up. And that's the magic of it, is that we are completely supported by our community. And even the walk, you know, most of our funding comes from individuals. So in that way, we are almost directly funded by our community. And for me, that's so magical. So also, I started out as a volunteer with NAMI. When I started volunteering with NAMI, Kumi was the only paid staff there. Then she brought somebody else on, and then I ended up taking her spot when she left as program manager, and then now I'm program director. So, you know, if you want to get into the nonprofit, get your foot in the door, this is how to do it. You got to start off as a volunteer. It's just how it goes. And you learn so much. I mean, I have learned so much working for NAMI, and especially starting from the bottom up, and it looks great on your resume. If you do excellent work for us, we'll write you a glowing letter of recommendation letter. So there's lots of incentives to join and be with us. And but again, yes.
Can I just on the volunteering? We've had some interns and really effective volunteers who got glowing recommendations for medical schools or law school, or gone on to hold management positions in other corporations. So it really, is a great stepping stone. Like Anisa said, it is a great place to volunteer. And even though I get paid, I too am a volunteer. And I'm sorry, go back to Anisa.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's the magic of us. That's why we work. Again, it's about community and working together and working on our mission to help people whose lives are affected by mental health conditions. That's why we're here, and we need help. You know, we're growing, we're getting bigger, and as we start to grow, we need to bring other people on to help us with our mission. So, if it sounds like you and any of these things are good, then send us an email. I'll send an email as well, I think, to all the attendees, maybe with the recording. We'll send it out with the list of all the different jobs. And, if more than one sounds good, that's great. If just one seems like will work for you, that's fine too. We also don't want to push anything on you and don't want you to take anything on you don't want to do. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it, because that it just makes more hardship for us. So we want people that are willing and excited to help us out. And then I know Amy's here. Amy, do you have anything to add? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I figured I'd just check in with you.
Sure. Hi, thanks. I'll just, I guess, very quickly add something. Sorry, I didn't prepare anything specific, but for those of you who don't know me, I am one of the peer support group volunteers. So I think I'll just kind of reiterate two of the main points that Kumi and Anisa really focused on. The first is on commitment. And I think that's really important. When I started the peer support group just last year, there are a lot of tasks that need to be done, just to be perfectly honest. I don't show up for just 1 hour once a month. I also help field emails from people who are interested in the support group. I send out the Zoom link before every group meeting. So there is definitely a commitment that's involved in it. And it's not quite as simple as just, I show up for 1 hour once a month and lead a group. There's more involved in that. So I just want people to be aware of that. But on the other side, as Anisa mentioned, there is so much meaning in it because, I'm a peer, I live with more serious mental illness. I've been in recovery for many years. So being able to help other people find some hope in their recovery too is something that brings me a lot of meaning. So getting through all the emails and sending out the Zoom links and all of that makes it definitely worth it for me. And I see a lot of the same people who show up to my group every month and I see them progress. I've done the group now about, I think 8 months or so. And I've definitely seen a lot of people move into different stages of recovery as we moved along with the group. And that's something that I really find so much meaning with, probably more than honestly some of the other work that I do. I'm at my office right now, but I think that there's something definitely, about helping others who are in a similar position. And also with the organization, is NAMI Hawaii is fantastic. And I've been volunteering with them for a little while now. Kumi and Anisa are amazing to work with. In case anybody has some hesitations, not to say no, they're not going to babysit you, but they are also extremely supportive. So please don't worry about that. They've been very helpful when I started my new group. So I appreciate everybody coming here today, and I hope there's something that you can find that interests you in being a volunteer. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, that's the other piece is when you are helping us as an organization, you have interactions with many different people and you feel how grateful and thankful they are to have you there. And that's what keeps me going and keeps me moving forward and fills my cup is the interactions with the community and what they're getting from us. It's really, really special. So we'd love to have you. Kumi, anything else from you?
I wonder if I think if we're done with our presentation portion, maybe we have some time for Q&A. If not, we can address your questions personally with an email or a phone call if you just contact us. But are there any questions if you want to unmute yourself?
All right, yeah. So going forward, we'll send out an email with this recording and with the list of different kind of tasks and jobs that we're needing help with. And if any of them interest you, then just send us an email back and we'll get you started. And if none of those tasks interest you, but you have a completely different idea that you're ready to just take and go for it, please send us an email too, because we'll work with you on that. You know, we're looking for things that are outside of the box, things we probably haven't even thought of before. You know, we're trying to get ourselves out there more so people that know that we exist, because our services are free and people are so grateful for them, but people still don't know about them. So we want to raise awareness and bring support to as many people as we can, and we'd love for you to help us on this journey. So yeah, you guys are welcome to leave. We'll stay on for a little bit longer if anybody has any questions, but otherwise, just wait for our email, and I'll wait for the email from you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody,
Thank you.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for all who serve already. Bye.
Yeah.
Have a happy
Bye.
holiday season.